Hello, everyone. I'm ZHAO Chuang. Today, let's draw the trunk of Deinocheirus. The most distinctive feature of Deinocheirus was that it had a highly raised triangular sail-like structure on its back, which located in front of the pelvis, at its waist. This back sail structure extended from its neural spines like this, but it was just its skeletal structure. There are many speculations about what it looked like when it was alive. Some people think it might have a huge round hump, but as far as today's animals and our current biological knowledge are concerned, no animal's hump is supported by bones. Like camels, the hump on their back is flesh, which is not supported by the inside bones. Deinocheirus lived in water and didn't need a hump like a camel to store water or nutrients. Since it was an aquatic animal, people suspect that, like Spinosaurus, its back sail might function as fish fins, or as a body part for display of large animals, both of which are very likely. Therefore, we restored this part to be white, so that it looks like this. Regarding its volume, a relatively reliable theory is that there were two sets of muscles along its root. This group of muscles was responsible for supporting its back, but the muscles might not be too high. While some scholars believe that its muscles covered its entire back, pulling its limbs. For an animal of this size, it didn't need this. Depending on the surface structure, its muscles might not be able to cover such a large area. Therefore, we believe the main function of its back might be identification, covered with white feathers or white skin. For this model, we made it with white feathers. There might be muscles at the root, which slowly formed a structure like this if viewed from the front. Now, let's start to draw the trunk of Deinocheirus. Its trunk was covered in feathers. The strokes we will use for the surface are very complicated. At the beginning, we sketch with dotted lines. Before drawing the torso, we determine the position of its neck to make it start from the neck and end at the tail. Downwards were the forelimbs and hindlimbs. Its neck locates here, and this would be the base of the neck. And its tail should be probably here. Next, let's draw its torso. First, we need to know the general structure of its torso. Our purpose is not to draw its torso, but to understand its inner structure through drawing. We used dotted lines to draw the inside structure. It had shoulder blades like this, in front of which were the coracoids, and its arms were linked to the back of the shoulder blades. Let's briefly outline its arms and its feathered wings. Behind the shoulder blades were its ribs, roughly here. Then there was its pelvis, which was very heavy and thick. Its thighs were here. And we draw the feathers that covered on top the same way we draw fluffy hairs. This part of the thigh was covered with feathers, and then starting from the knees, there was bare skin on the back of the thighs, on the knees and the shanks. We simply show its belly. Its belly probably ended at the knee. Its chest and the front of the arms were at the same position. We connect them. Like this, we can accurately show the position of its belly. Other dinosaurs were also the same. Since its belly was exposed, it was covered with skin like an ostrich, and we draw some wrinkles here. Its ischium was probably here, and we connect it to this part. At the rear was its tail, and we draw some wrinkles at the lower part of the tail. Draw the skin extended backward on the rear of this leg, and draw some shadings below, followed by some wrinkles on the rump. Next, we draw the boundary line between the feathers and the skin here. The feathers covering the skin, basically along this part, similar to today's ostriches. The feathers on its tail were basically covered like this. And we draw a few strokes to show the sense of layers on this wing. Its feathers, at the front, might end at the position on the neck. Deinocheirus was gigantic-sized. Modern large animals or large birds generally have bared necks, especially the large birds that live in the tropics. The same might be true for Deinocheirus. Finally, we come to the very characteristic feature of Deinocheirus, that a little forward above its pelvis and the waist, there was a very high neural spine. It was a triangular shape connected to the front and back. Deinocheirus was featured by this structure. It was completely unimaginable when people only discovered its forelimbs and tried to guess its full picture. We didn't know Deinocheirus had this sail or hump-like structure on its back until its complete fossil was presented. Then, we draw some feather traces around here, draw some dotted lines on the boundary where the vertical sail meets with the bulging horizontal part of its torso. Doing this could give the back sail more sense of volume. In the end, we draw some wrinkles on the neck, and some feather textures on the tail and torso. Good. Like this, we've finished drawing the trunk of Deinocheirus.